Polish till you shine. My name is Kobby, and I'm humbled today to have one amazing person with me. We're going to go a bit into the conversation, but before that, let me say a big thank you to Choice Cuisine. They are located at East Legon. Now, 58 Garden Street, over East Legon. They do intercontinental dishes, local dishes, smoothies, and sandwiches. And so when you come to East Legon, just ask of Choice Cuisine. They are not far from the ANC mall, and you can also call them. I mean, because of COVID-19, people prefer to do delivery. Just call them, and they will bring their motorbikers to just deliver the food to your doorstep. So call them on 055 850 1494. Again, 055 850 1494. This is Star Talk with Kobby. Today, my guest, let me do a preamble and do some little introduction on this legendary man. And so he has some few albums: Beats of Zion, Branches of the Same Tree, Hymns for the Rebel Soul, Book of Changes, Crusade. A whole lot of. And I mean, according to my research here, he's done some few movies, nothing like Chocolate. And so we'll go more into that. But before that, let me say a very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. My name is Kobby, and today I have legendary Rocky Dawuni. I never, if my mom or if any pastor had told me someone to interview Rocky one day, I was like, no, you're kidding me. But today, kind courtesy Elombini, I have the man with me. How you doing, sir?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah. I'm humbled and super humble. I don't know if I should sleep on the floor, but I'm humbled to have you today.
Well, it's mutual. I'm also very honored to be on your show and also get opportunity to talk to you. You know, I've heard about the works that you're doing, and I totally appreciate. So it's a mutual respect.
Nice, thank you. I respect you so much, and I love your work because I also have a music background. I completed University of Education, Winnipeg.
Oh,
and I hold a degree in music. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, you're the real deal.
Exactly. So I can read music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so trumpet was my major instrument.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so along there I had to. I mean, music has also got to do with media in a way.
Yes.
So I mean, I find myself doing media now.
Okay.
But still, the music is in me.
Well, the thing is that what you learn in music and the way to put things together and the way to read through things and the way to use the right chords, I mean, that kind of sensibility helps you in anywhere you go.
Beautiful. Now, first of all, let me talk about family.
Yes.
How are you doing? Tell us about your family. I mean, your wife, your kids, where are they? And how are you coping with the COVID-19?
Well, I came. Prior to everything happening, I was on a big trip, the last major trip that I did. I was on a big trip with a lot of religious leaders, political leaders. We went on a fact-finding trip to the Middle East. So I was traveling with, everybody from the, one of the leading sheikhs, the Green Sheikh of United Arab Emirates. I was traveling with the grandson of Haile Selassie, the Crown Prince, and then we were the focus of the trip was to go and collaborate with an organization that was working on the Jordan River, because there's a lot of issues with the Jordan River because you had Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Israel all getting their source of water. So it's like all the politics that we see is played on the ground as to who owns the water, who controls the water. So we went there, part of a big group of people to go and meet all different activists on all of those sides, and Jordan River represents such an important river in terms of Christianity and also other big faiths, So once we finished that, I was in, Jerusalem, I was in Haifa, I was in Amman, all around, Jericho, everywhere. Great, incredible spiritual experience. And as we were leaving, the whole stuff was happening around the world, So, we get to airports and then we see people with stuff, and then I had to come back. I had to come to Ghana because my mom had passed away last year. So we're coming to prepare for the funeral, So we got here about, in advance, whilst I was preparing, then everything started shutting down, But by then my daughter and my immediate family were out in Los Angeles. So they were locked down over there, and I was locked down here. But there's no better place than to be locked down in your own country.
I know.
I know.
But how many kids do you have?
I have a daughter.
You have a daughter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they are all in Los Angeles?
Yeah, one child. Yeah,
oh,
one child.
Amazing. Which part of Ghana are you from?
I'm from the northern part of Ghana. Actually, my older brother is the chief of Bumbon in the northern region. Bumbon is it's close to the Yendi, within the Yendi municipality, but it's right in between Yendi and Gushego in the middle town. An amazing town. My older brother, it's like he went to University of Ghana too, so he's bringing a lot of great ideas into the traditional world and bringing a lot of very interesting development.
Was it like Twitter or Instagram? They tweeted Champion Arise video. And BET was talking about that video.
Yeah.
Briefly share with us the concept, where you shot, the location, and how the idea or even the title, Champion Arise.
Well, the thing was that Champion Arise is about all of us. It's about each person being a champion. When you're born, God gives you breath. God gives you a talent. God gives you the ability to engage the world with who you are, what you have to offer. So already you are with your predisposition, you have the ability to win and conquer everything, But the ways of the world, a lot of times, just turns us, some are born in places that don't have, some are born poor, some are born rich, some are born with the ability to get success fast. Some are born with struggle. Everybody and their path. But we shouldn't lose sight of the bigger picture, that regardless of whatever our path is, it does not make us any less of a person. And if we embrace that as not a permanent situation, but as an inspiration to move forward, that means we can be able to go through life and find the success that we are seeking if we work hard towards it and we get ourselves dedicated to it. So I just believe that everybody has that ability, and that song really encompasses that philosophy.
Now, before you talk about the video, the location and all that, let me ask you. Now, talking about how we see the bigger picture, regardless of where we're coming from, it is also believed that sometimes our environment in which we grow up limits some of the things we do.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think that our environment also plays a role in becoming...
environment plays a role. Environment definitely plays a role.
So how can you overcome when you're coming
from
a
but
specific
environment is no excuse for you not striving to overcome it.
So what can you do if you're coming from, such an environment?
How many people, even our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, have you read his autobiography, how he was, when he was born?
True.
Was he living in a village, like literally his mom, single mother raising him. In a village that time, I'm sure people passed him by, nobody knew, nobody cared, he was going to the farm and hustling, stowing away and that kind of stuff. So look at his story. He became the biggest story of the African continent and probably one of the greatest leaders that we've ever had. So that alone, is a testament that where you grow up is not an impediment. It only becomes an impediment if you make it an impediment. You can't, because you're born somewhere, you can start questioning God, like, oh God, like if you put me for the mansion way there across the street, like there, you go to the mansion to go see the kiddies to the people who are born there too are wishing that they came from some humble beginning, so they can be able, because everything is given to them, everything is, and all of. So all I'm saying is that the grass is not always greener at the other side. Your grass is green. That's how you have to see it, and you have to always see it as, the glass to half full instead of half empty. All I'm saying is that the power of determination and the power of conviction, waking up every morning and knowing that I can go out there and work hard, and not like work hard and take advantage, work hard and steal, work hard and through corruption. I'm talking of working hard, learning hard. You see that with a lot of Africans when they leave here and they go to Europe. They don't work as hard when they are here. True. But when you see them in Europe, go-getters, get up morning.
But when they are here on their own lands, they seem
Yeah. He's relaxed and that
Relaxed.
kind of stuff. He's but every time he had the opportunity to reach somebody
yes.
in line and he knows that there's no support system,
Yes.
you see that all of a sudden that energy comes in and
True.
takes over because you
That is
either
true.
sink or you swim.
True.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you have to go to somebody's land for that
Yes.
to be activated. What I'm saying that it's already in you. The proactive power is already in you. Like when I started, you know, I mean, many people will look at my story and say, "Oh, you know, Rocky's lucky. Rocky's this and no." It was sheer hard work because I believed in my music. I knew that first of all, I had to be the best in my profession, not just the best over somebody, but the best in terms of what I can be. So first of all, you got to learn. You got to study the masters. You got to open your ears. Even if you are going, even after Grammy self, I'll still come here, and when I see a musician who is starting, I rather like to listen to what he has to say than me impose what I have to say to him. Because you're constantly learning, even as they say, from the children and you get knowledge and information. It doesn't mean that because the guy is starting, that doesn't mean that tomorrow he's going to be the biggest story out of us. It's just that you are meeting the person at that time, but he's already has that path to go. So that's what I'm saying, that you don't have to, if you are open to the world and you work hard and you find the knowledge, and the thing is that knowledge and wisdom sometimes can be a means by which you overcome all of it. That's why people talk of education, because education puts you on a stringent program to acquire knowledge and wisdom, especially if it's right education. I mean, sometimes education programs you to become something else, you know. That's another conversation. But in the long run, it gives you the tools to unlock your impediments and be able to have a very, shall I say, objective view about things. And then through that objectivity too, you are able to create, you are able to distill all those information to help you move forward, have the knowledge, right knowledge base to move forward in whatever your chosen profession or your chosen path is. You know, so all I'm saying is that, you know, greatness is something that you have to trust and believe in, because God gave us, all of us, that. God is a creator, you know, created the world for us. But at the same time, that creative spark is within us. So we are all creators, you know, and you just got to aspire and believe and trust, but you got to act on it.
Beautiful conversation. Where did you shoot the video?
The video was shot in Eburi, and then also on the coast of California. So the idea was that I wanted to have, like, you know, how the world is. Even when you look at the world, you know, right now there's a collapsed space and time. Everything is immediate. So our worlds are all kind of intersecting. So whatever happens in Ghana is not in isolation of Ghana. If you like tweet some bad thing right now, you go see, you know, Americans, they chase you, come Ghana, because our world is all connected. Also, even right now with this pandemic stuff, it started in Wuhan. All of a sudden, the whole world is global. So that means that all of a sudden, everything is interconnected. So the whole idea of the video is that it's Champion Arise. It was to use spaces that were represented monuments of creativity and activism, but then something tragic happened to them and they got destroyed, and then now they are on the back rebounding again. So I filmed from the Rita Mali studios in Eburi, which was destroyed by a fire after they finished building it here. And then I also filmed in Woodshed Studios, which is one of the top studios where Lady Gaga, Coldplay, everybody record in Malibu. That was also part of the property was destroyed by the California fire. But then it's being rebuilt. So I use these two things to show Champion Arise, that the spaces themselves went through all of those tests and destruction, but the spaces are coming back and even stronger. You know, so it's like, you know, the phoenix, you know, you know, like that's like the whole thing. It's in that spirit.
Wow.
Yes,
Let's talk about how you promote your music. You release song and it looks as if it catches fire. Everybody's talking about it. How do you do your plugins to making sure that your music everywhere.
Well, the thing is that I've had like a great team, you know. I have a good team in the US, I have a good team here in Ghana, and I mean, I can crystallize the team into a Lombini and a few other people who are on the ground working a lot of magic on the ground, and then also my team too in Los Angeles who are coordinating. So we are all coordinating and working together, and then also this album it's also goes through 6 Degrees Records. So 6 Degrees Records too also has their own network of people and all of that. So when things are released, there's just this different sections of the team that also help. It's a teamwork, you know. With everything, you just have to, you know, work. But you know, I'll say that teamwork, but determined team, determined people, inspired people.
Go-getters.
Who, yeah, go-getters. You know, who are
amazing.
part of the
Now,
team.
let's talk about music education. I
Yeah.
mean, I told you about my background with regards to music.
Yes,
And I
yeah.
noticed that most African artists, and let me even limit it to Ghana, and you have traveled and you've gained experience, and you know, even hip-hop artists can read music because you see the band reading from scores and all that.
Yeah.
African musicians and music education, what can be done to let them know music so that when they travel across Africa, they can really interpret music?
You see, there's two sides to the whole thing. Okay, like me, when I was starting, at first I could not read music. I could not play an instrument. I had the inspiration. I had the ability to understand instinctively, like rhythm, you know, and so it was a natural thing for me. So when I started, a lot of the music I was writing was based upon that. But as I was, you know, so first album, second album, I was still in that space. But then I was meeting all these musicians everywhere I travel. And then they were telling me, they're like, you know, you should learn an instrument, and then also, you know, learn, you know, like timing and all that kind of stuff, because what it helps you understand what you're already doing.
Exactly.
And also show you that sometimes you start from a place and there's a whole world where you can take things, but because you don't know the possibilities, you know, you're only following what your instinct takes you. But if you have that knowledge, it expands your ability to be able to do that. So immediately I started hearing that along the way. I was like, okay, this is something that I needed to do. So I started learning. I'll have teachers, people teach me. I got a guitar. I started learning guitar. Then when I started understanding chords, I was just like, wow, this is interesting. You know, so now I'm playing. So it changed my style of singing.
And the writing.
And then the writing too. So if people who know music have been following me, they will know that the thing started happening around when I came to my full bloom as a songwriter from guitar and chords, from Hymns for the Rebel Soul.
Wow.
Because by Hymns for the Rebel Soul, I was kind of fully realized as understanding chords and then also manipulating
the progressions
chords,
and all that.
progressions and that kind of stuff. So that album is very versatile in terms of, whilst the other ones are, you know, beat driven and all of that kind of stuff, but it was pure passion and ambition. You know, so the thing is that there are a lot of musicians who are endowed with that talent, but if they take the time to learn, but we also have to look at the environment, because music education is not something you find in every school. You know, I feel that music education should be brought into every school.
Because those days, you like music and dance. Music education was compulsory.
Yeah. Music education, traditional dance and
traditional culture
should be priority, because it builds. The thing is that, you know, even children who are taught music, it opens their mind to be able to learn
to
and
even
go
know
higher.
mathematics, English, science,
yeah. All the top schools, a lot of the people who are well endowed in the Western world, and they make sure that their children know piano and all of music writing, and they all learn. Because they know that it helps them, opens your mind. Scientifically, it opens your mind. Exact cognitive part of your thing, and then being able to look at things in a way that you see the world differently. So, but you know, because we have not had that or we haven't had certain leadership that have understood that. There hasn't been that push. Oh no, they know, but they know that, but nobody sees it as something that everybody should have it. You know, it's like, okay, if you want the music, you'll be taught in school, but if you want the music, then you take that part. But I feel that it should be compulsory. It should be part of the learning. I mean, it should be compulsory.
The syllabus, the curriculum, it should be part.
You know, so for me, I'm also supporting. You know, I'm working on that possibility of through my presence here, like also being able to in those direction to help set up certain music schools, especially in the north. Where there's all of that. There's a lot of kids who don't even have access to studios, don't have access, but you find so much talent.
True.
Just around, So it's like if you have a hub where people can go there, learn some instrument,
exactly,
be able to have some kind of direction, you might bring up tomorrow's, big global stars. You find them just like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in somewhere in Nkrofo, in a corner.
I know.
Nurturing to assume their position. Yeah.
Now, when you mention names like Rocky Dawuni, Amache Dede, Kojonti, like the top people, hardly will you find some controversy around them. Their focus was based on the passion towards music and nothing else. But these days, the new crop of artists, you see them controversy, creating beef here and there. Do you think that is part of the music business?
No, it's not part of the music business at all. We live in a world of sensationalism. There's also a herd mentality. By herd mentality, I mean that the herd, like a shepherd and a herd. So an issue can come on and everybody gravitates towards the issue before they even know whether it's true or not. And by the time you fact check something, so people have started recognizing its whole thing whereby you can use it if you're an attention-seeking person, you can use it to draw your attention through negative means. I mean, as you can see, even in the US election, all of that kind of stuff, the worst things you say, people get pissed off and then they share you. So the more ready you are able to spew stuff and be louder and cause controversy, all of a sudden you start getting more shares and more profile. So because of that negative leaning aspect of the internet, a lot of people have seen it as a quick way of trying to bring attention to themselves. So I think that if you are a musician and you're an artist, let the works, let your positivity, let all of those things be part. It might be a long way. It might take longer. People might not share. I might
eventually.
Yeah. If I'm good, maybe Kyei no go share me because I'm good. But if I go do something wrong, no, Kyei go. They say so. The temptation to lean towards the other. So what I'm saying is that if you do the right things in the long run, who you are, it represents who you are. But if you caught negativity and you also play on the weakness of the media. You also play on the gullibility of bloggers, and you play them. So you do something and you know that they're gonna react to it. You have to post something, they're gonna react to you. You have to say something that is controversial and all that kind of stuff, and then they will react, and all of a sudden, through the controversy, you get all the thing rappers used to do that back in the days. You remember, like even the Snoop Dogg back in the days. You will see, before an album will come, they will be arrested with a gun. All of a sudden it's like, oh, he was traveling at an airport and the police found him with a gun, and then he'll be on the headlines of news, and all of a sudden they will set bail, and then by the following week the record drops. You see, so it has been kind of a medium. Madonna used to use that. She, her album, she would totally be very suggestive and all that kind of stuff, and then people would be pissed off, when she did that thing with the cross, even the Catholic Church got angry and all of that kind of stuff. All of a sudden the Catholic Church was talking about her, like on that level, and all of a sudden that's it. So in certain part of marketing, it's been an old thing, but usually it used to be at that time people who had that gravitas, who had not gravitas, the people who had that kind of influence. Now with social media, if even you have 200 followers and you put something controversial, those 200 followers will spin it. And by the time you see 1,000 followers of them has seen it. Yes. And so people who are weak, I wouldn't use the word weak because that would be judgmental on my part. But people who see the opening and also know that it's very hard to get attention. And if you do something like that, you can get attention quickly. Obviously, they will take that. But it's up to the media not to be so gullible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. Now, every artist, one interview, I want to go to the Grammys. I want to get to the Grammys. I want to win to the Grammys. What can our artists do to get to the level of the Grammys, even if not Grammys, to get to the international stages?
I would think that, talking from my experience, you know, starting from here all the way to the Grammys, for the first time for Ghana, there was no book for me to learn from, you know. So my experience is a book for others to look and study and see if they can learn something from. But everybody's journey is different, so it's not one size fits all. But this is what I know. What I know is that when you focus on your craft, you see, the thing is that you are always judged by what comes out, not in terms of what you went through to get that. So if you want to be an artist that want to be on the Grammy level, that means your music, your songwriting, and all of that stuff has to be on that level. You have to work on creativity, not hype. It's not hype that gets you there.
Repeat it.
Creativity, not hype.
Work on your creativity, not hype.
You know, because you have over 20,000 music aficionados and producers who are voting, and they are listening to the music to vote if you are eligible for it.
They are not looking at how you are trending in your country.
Yeah, that one, yeah. You know?
Wow.
So when you work on that, and then you're able to add the trending part, you know, and that kind of stuff, but then your work stands by its own. The thing, you know, the important thing is that, as somebody said, that when you are not around, your music should be able to speak for you. You see, it not be say you go date and you say, hey, my music be the best and that kind of stuff, and you even talking over the music. When you are not there, everybody listens who doesn't know you. They have to be like, gee, did you just hear that? That is some serious stuff. You see, and that is what, because when people who are the, you know, within the Grammy world, they are in isolation of their house and their world. When they hear your music, it has to do that whilst you are not there. So what I know is that my album, Branches of the Same Tree, was a game-changing album. You know, it changed the character of reggae music. If I was from Jamaica right now, that album would have been hailed in such a big way, because it was an album that came from nowhere. Obviously, I have been working for a long time. So Hymns for the Rebel Soul, which I was saying, was nominated for NAACP Image Award that year for Best World Music Album. So it already set me, it pushed me right to the forefront for me to drop a good album. And then a good album was dropped. So when Branches was dropped, it just took off. African Thriller was used, you know, EA used it, you know, it was, you know, the video, MTV, like all of those things, you know, it was just everywhere when it landed. So people gravitated towards the album. You know, there was a good tour that we did over Europe and all of that. So by the time we finished all of that, that album, people had felt it, people have heard it, the reviews were incredible. But at the same time, I knew that I was an independent guy from Africa who was competing with people who had countries and nations and all of that behind them. So my work had to be unique in order for it to stand out. You know, no matter of self-hyping will get me there. The work has to speak for itself. So when that happened, even that year, when you look at all that is, you know, from Luciano to Barrington Levy to Morgan Heritage and all of them, the record sounded, was all like a reggae record. All of them, it sounded similar. Branches of the Same Tree was totally different because it mixed reggae, Afrobeat, high life, and opened a new door for that genre of music. And so they could not deny that. The voters could not deny that. You know, whether
content,
whether the door you did lock you get the key or that kind of stuff. You can't deny the fact. See, you have to acknowledge this album as, you know, that level of creativity, and that's what really forced that album to get the nomination. Because if even you look at that time, I was kind of one of the first non-Jamaicans. I thought not Jamaican was called, I think the second, as first second African, I think, in terms of that genre for that nomination to happen. Because the nomination there is always, it's very hard for people to crack through that nomination. But then we're able to overcome all of that because we focused on the music and the art itself.
Wow. We are bringing the conversation to an end. Let me ask my last 2 questions, then we are done. We'll say goodbye. Now, have you had the opportunity to listen to Stonebwoy's Analog Junction album?
Yes, I have.
Now,
yes.
people are just saying that this album is Grammy standard.
Yes.
What's your general review on the album?
The thing is that I can't predict what we like here or what is popular. Does not mean that it is necessarily in terms of the voting members or like it is, but it's an album with a lot of potential. That's what I would say. And a lot of potential, and not only that, because a lot of times when I say that, it's almost like we're just choosing one album and we're ignoring the other incredible works that all have that potential. I think Wolasi's album, The Man and the God, is an incredible piece of art. A record like that could snack in and be a surprise. Analog Junction, yes. Analog Junction has, Stonebwoy has a lot of fan base and all of that kind of stuff, and it's very loud. So great, that is there, But other albums like his work, I think I really like. What is his name? I'm blanking on
Manifest.
No, not Manifest, but what is the guy who he works with Kill Beats?
Is it Kim Promise?
Not Kim Promise. He's new. Darko Vibes. Darko Vibes' new album. 2. I think just because I know that recently, about 2 weeks ago, some tracks were played by a very famous top DJ in Los Angeles, who's like a tastemaker DJ. He played it, so all of a sudden, that album is finding its way and is getting played in all of this. So that's how these things happen, so because people are focusing on African music, black people, we were dealing with a situation with black people over there. So there is, and racism, there's never been a place that didn't have racism like the music industry. The music industry, that's where the racism did for a long time, So everybody's going through soul searching and stuff. So it's a good time for African content, because I feel that African content is very powerful and very strong. And so the potential for more nominations to come here is always open, And I think that, with artists constantly focusing on, with me, even what's called Hymns for the Rebel Soul, I thought that Hymns for the Rebel Soul should have gotten a Grammy nomination because it was that far. That was the album before that. But then it was nominated for NAACP Image Award for Best World Music Album. So obviously it got a certain high level recognition in the US. So sometimes it might not be the Grammy, but whatever little that is happening in that sphere moves you gradually towards that recognition.
Now, your final words. I want you to focus on the emerging artists.
Yes.
Because a lot of guys are struggling a lot to get to the top.
Yes.
I want you to focus your last message to inspire young talent and what they can do to also uplift their talent and their.
Well, the thing that we have to know is that the talent base in this country, dear Charlie, is serious. Serious. There's so many people that when I was growing up with, who had so much musical talent, but a lot of them didn't pursue the music career. They went into other careers, but I knew that they were incredible. So it's all a matter of when you have that gift, please make sure that you go out there and you put your effort and you manifest it. By manifest, I mean manifest your destiny. That means say, Charlie, every time you are working on it, you are improving it. Every day you are listening to people, you are learning from people. Even when you start getting success, don't let that success go into your head, because the worst thing that can happen to you is when you become champion for your little corner and all of a sudden nobody can work with you. You are too full, because a glass that is full, nobody can add anything to it. So you have to constantly maintain that level of humility, but at the same time, hard work, so that people can open doors for you. Because in this world, we all need people. We all need people to help us. Sometimes you can be the best, But it takes one door for somebody to say, hey, this compilation is happening. You know, this guy is a cool guy. Maybe not because you are great, but they say this guy is a cool guy. And they will put you on that compilation. It will open a door. I've seen that happen to so many people. You know, so, you know, but first of all, you have to work on your craft. Work hard. Create good, great works that when you know you drop say 10 years from now, so you know they look your back because that thing, you put in your blood, toil, and mind to manifest that. And when you do that, it will start, the music itself will start growing and moving by itself. When you are sleeping, it's out there influencing people. And by the time you know, Charlie, the perfect storm, and it will set you up on your course. So please, see it no way. Hard work, focus, humility, but at the same time, trust, say, you are the champion. For the deep, you know, you say you yelp to people, but you believe and believe in yourself. In the way you believe in yourself, everybody will believe in you.
I'm short for words. Until then, polish till you shine. My name is Kobby. This has been Star Talk with Kobby. I want to say a big thank you to Choice Cuisine. They are located at East Legon, 58 Garden Street. Continental dishes, local dishes, smoothies, sandwiches from Eduane Apebia. And let me say a big thank you to my production team, Abe Kumeos, Joseph Amino, to Jojo Khalifa. I want to say a big thank you to Elombini, legendary Elombini. I mean, he's been a great inspiration to my work. So God bless you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Visit all the platforms. Rocky Dawuni. I'm sure he's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Watch his music. Support. Let's support Ghana music to the world.
And they follow. They go my Twitter handle.
Yeah, Twitter handle,
Facebook,
share,
and all of that. You know, social media.
Yes,
Mundi mechiwa.
God bless you. Bye.